looking rough, but I'm feeling tough. So that must mean it is time for another season and another episode of the much awaited, the legendary NBP Show! And as always, I am your host, Commissioner Daltmec, bringing you the latest news here in NBP-Pro. Oh man, it has been too long. It was only about a month. But it has been too long since we have had an episode of the NBP show. I'm sure many of you realized and noticed there wasn't a episode 8 of last season following the final week, and that's my bad. I kind of got sidetracked, and with the delays of getting that season in and the playoffs and all of that, by the time I got around to kind of doing it, it kind of seemed like it was a little too late, a little too far gone once I get this mic situated here. But nevertheless, I have some things to go over from last season, Season 9, before we get into the action of Season 10. The week has just advanced here. We are on to week 2, but we got to get the recap for week 1 of season 10 underway. But first, we're going to start it off with Nuffle Challenge Series 9. That is what took place in the finals, the postseason of last season, where we had from the Old World Conference, Jonah 2005, UK, and the Haunting of Men, the top place team at the end of the season, going into the playoffs against JG 1357 and the Halloween Plebs. Both of those teams are back this season for Season 10. That was your first seed and your wild card there, followed by second seed Pong Hines and the Orion Magics up against Bubba Tattoo and the Pollinaire Keg Killers. JG and Bubba there of the Pollinaire Keg Killers went off in the last week, and after playing twice, Bubba got the top spot, but JG had enough points for the wild card, so he went on to the playoffs just like Bubba did out of the former Cold Hearts division, now the Cryptic Souls. And in that first matchup, we would see JG take down the top place team, the Necro team, taking down the Undead and advancing to the Old World Conference Finals, where he would take on Pong Hines, who would then defeat the Necro team to go to the finals. So the Old World Conference champion was Pong Hines. Flip it over to the New World Conference. We had former Commissioner Kamakozy and Get Confident Stupid Season 8 champions looking to reclaim their throne in the Nuffle Challenge Series 9. And they would go up against DK96, who actually had to play off for that wild card spot. The wild card spot playoff game would consist of DKM and Malevolent Malware up against Knockout Joe and let me check what their team name was. It has slipped me at this time. That was Praise the Joe, the human team taking on the Chaos team. And in the playoff game, DKM would prevail and go on to face Cozy for the third time this season. Both of those coaches there out of the former Deep Dark division, now the Dusk Ridge. We'll get all that covered when we get to Season 9. We're going to try to speed through this so we can get you for the Season 10 action. Then next was Fury of Anon and Orcs taking on Yours Truly and Baphomot's Bestowed. The Baphomot's Bestowed would come out in a bash fest and go on to the conference championship, the New World Conference Championship. And then in the previous matchup, for the third time this season, Get Confident Stupid would beat Malevolent Malware to advance to the conference championship. And in that championship game, Kamikoze and yours truly had a battle for the conference, but the 4 AG Skinks were just too strong, and they would prevail, making their way to 2 straight Neville Challenge Series finals here. So Pong Hines and Kamikoze. Orion Magics versus Get Confident Stupid. Last season, aka Season 8's finals matchup, the rematch here. And this would be a blood fest, a blood battle here on the Blood Bowl pitch between Orion Magics and Get Confident Stupid. And just when it was looking like there would be a repeat champion here, we go to overtime where Pong Hines had, I believe, only 3 players. And with those 3 players, he sure made his game count, where he came down to overtime and won with 3 to 4 players with a very agile war dancer and catcher. And then that would be the ball game. That would see Pong Hines and the Orion Magics take the Neville Challenge Series 9 and return to Season 10 as the defending champion. So, why don't we get Season 9 out of the way and then move on to Season 10, the current season. As mentioned earlier, we are already past round 1, and as we've done it in the past, we'll start in the old world, where Ancient Empires is our first covered division. Previously mentioned Legend T969. In the LFC Legends, that is a returning champion team here for Season 10. They won quite a few seasons ago here in NBP with this team, and they will be taking on Yu-Gi-Oh! And Mad Zucador, the Skaven versus Dwarf matchup. Oh man, the Dwarves would make the Skaven hurt in this game. It was quite a brutal matchup, seeing the Dwarves kind of commanding. See, this is the way the mic should have been. I was doing it backwards. But we saw the Dwarves kind of command the field there, as it was 1-1 for a while. And then late in the game, the Legends scored and made it 2-1. But it did look like to be a 1-1 or a 2-1 win for the Skaven for quite a while. But the Dwarves just worked that Warpstone magic just a little bit harder than the Skaven did, and they came out on top here, making themselves 1-0 here at the start of the season. Now, on to the second matchup of Ancient Empires here. Kodak Cookie, Small and Mighty, the returning Ogre team here, and the Haunting of Men, Jonah 2005 UK, the top team from last season in the regular season. Returning here, 2 returning teams head-to-head for Season 10 in the first week. Man, this swivel chair, I'm swiveling a lot, but man, you know it's fun when you sit in a swivel chair. Anyway, the Ogres would take the pitch up against the Undead squad and try to throw their weight around of having a mass amount of Ogres. But the Mummies match up quite well to Ogres, as well as the speed and strength advantage of the Undead. And we would see that on the pitch, as the Noblars would not be able to hold their own against the assault of the Undead squad. The Ogres held up quite well. Lots of break tackle, lots of Ogre dodges, as the Small and Mighty tend to be. They love those Ogre dodges, and we get to see quite an exciting game every time they take the pitch. Both of these teams take the pitch. And it would be, despite the fact of it being 2-0 on the paper, it was still a thrilling game all throughout, and very well could have been a 1-1 draw. Let's get hydrated up and then get nice and spooky and scary as I knock my vape off the table. We go on to Cryptic Souls, the newest division here in NBP. We had an expansion. We added 8 total teams to the Pro League. That would be 4 for Old World and 4 for New World. And the division leader would be the aforementioned Halloween Plebs and JG1357. He is the one who named that division. We'll start off with his game, even though he's not first on the ticket, and he was the away game in this match, where newest pro, Dragoon, 54321, and A Reptile Dysfunction go head-to-head. This was a battle of both wits and strength. We had the blue scaly monstrosities of the Dysfunction taking on the rotting horrors of the Halloween Plebs, the Necro team, up against the Lizards. And neither of these teams would be able to make too much headway, as they would both bash each other up and down the field and make the game 1-1 at the end. So 1-1 draw for those two teams. Then we move up the docket to Bev Lloyd, another new pro here at NBP, and the NBP Iron Maidens, heading one of my favorite races in all of Blood Bowl, an Amazonian team, up against Dust Sewer Rats, returning pro S130 South, but with a new team this season, a Skaven squad, opposed to the Dark Elves that he had last season. And the Dark Elves would bash and dash away from the Amazons, taking advantage of the agility differences between these two. They would score early and then allow the Amazon to score, and then with the last bit of turns that they had remaining, they would make the game 2-1 for the Dark Elves. So the Dark Elves taking advantage of that agility once again there, despite the fact that the Iron Maidens had lots of dodge. AG4 is still statistically just a little bit better there. And that shows on paper there. We get a 2-1, but still a close game, and nothing wrong with the display that the Iron Maidens showed there in their debut match. Both of the new pros there, going 1-1. So very, very fun matchup there. So that's Cryptic Souls. Now, I hope you brought your aloe, because we move on to the former Cold Hearts division. Now the Sunburnt Country. I'm getting peely just thinking about it. I'm sore. Ugh, sunburn. Anyway, another new pro here on top of the docket, up against the namesake coach of this division, Polynear Keg Killers and Bubba Tattoo, the Dwarfs, taking on the new pro, I Am DeMarco, and Calidor Red Sox. Calidor Red Sox, a high elf team, joining the pros here as they take on arguably a counter to them. They have the speed difference, they have the agility difference, but do they have the bash difference? Probably not. But this would be a situation where the elves were able to run away from the bashiness of the Keg Killers and score twice to the Keg Killers 1. So, the debut match for the new pro here results in a win against a playoff team from last season. A spectacular matchup there. That one's on Cabal Vision. Quite possibly was broadcasted by DeMarco, but I don't know if he archives his Twitch streams. So go check it out on Cabal or Twitch, preferably Twitch, because it helps out his channel if he streamed it / archived it. Now, last season Cold Heart coach, the replacement coach for a coach last season, coming back for his second season here. That is Dan Boy DX with a different squad in Next Gen Human Division. And he has been putting out some great YouTube content. If you haven't already, he highlights his games and then puts them to some memes and some music and makes some pretty good videos. He's got 2 up so far. He's already spoiled week 2 for us. If you want to go check out, that's Bloodbard. Check him out on YouTube. since you're already on the website and all, might as well. That is taking on new pro, M-Rooted 2005, coming out of the Mini Cup, made it to the top group, and then had the chance at the Mini Cup Championship and lost it. It was oh so close as he took on a team we will mention later, but still earned a pro spot with his performance here. In fact, he was one of the first old world coaches who earned their spot, making to the top group and got the instant pro spot. So, that is the Orc team known as Abu Memorial Foundation. That is a team made in honor of an Orc player that M-Rooted coached in the past, and they look to live on the memory of such a fantastic player here in NBP as they take on the Human Squad. Blood Bowl's oldest matchup, Humans versus Orcs. And this is the situation of Dan is now in his second season. He is a newer coach here in Blood Bowl, but I think he put up a spectacular fight against this veteran that is Root and the Orcs. But on paper, it was quite a beating. It was a dicing, getting quite knuffled, the Humans did. And they end that match 0-3 to the Orcs. So the Orcs win 3-0 in Sunburnt Country. Now, the former Beheaded Kings, the home of Season 9, Nuffle Challenge Series champion. It is Pong Hines and the Orion Magics here in the Chilean Princes division. That just sounds regal. The Chilean Princes. I love it. I love it. And the first match there is Pong Hines and the OM up against a returning champion here in Wheelie 365. And boom! Shake the room! Oh man, I've been waiting so long to get to say that on this show again. Seasons passed, years passed since I've got to mention this team. And I'm so excited. Because I believe this matchup has happened before. Not the exact same Orion Magics, but nonetheless still the same organization and coach. Orion Magics, and boom, shake the room. Shook the stadium to its very core as two Nuffle Challenge Series champions went head to head. Oh, one of the best games of the week. It had everything for every type of Blood Bowl fan here. We had injuries. We had casualties. We had one turn touchdown scored by elves. Oh man, you have to watch the Cabal vision of this one. I cannot reiterate that enough. Because both teams scored twice. Orcs scored twice against Wood Elves. Oh man, even with the numbers advantage, they could not hold off the agility assault of these acrobatic, aeronautic Wood Elves. Oh, I think I've spoken enough about that game, but oh man, two former champions going head to head and drawing in week one. It was fantastic. So, now we go to my beloved co-host in Chilean Princess. That is fantastic Dr. J. Fantastic partner of the show here. Would love to have him back sometime. I miss his playoff bubble section. But I believe he's pretty busy with that Elf League, the Delphamental Showdown, still going on. Some elf versus elf action. But that's not what we're seeing here in Pro. We are seeing his Orcs of NBP Park Life taking on new Pro and the Mini Cup champion Leeds Werewolves coached by Solaire72. Ooh! I have enjoyed watching these Leeds Werewolves make their way through the mini cup, going undefeated for 9 games, beating some top names on PS4 Blood Bowl and earning that pro spot, that title, that cup. The mini cup of NBP-Pro here is owned by the Leeds Werewolves, going into last season's Champions Division. So we have the Mini Cup champion and the Nuffle Challenge Series champion in the same division. And they're going to play each other in week 3. Oh, that's going to be a spectacular win. But I am overshadowing the week 1 matchup between fantastic Dr. J and his Orcs taking on the Humans. Oh, man. The Orcs would keep up their display that we have seen in previous seasons of just hitting anyone and everyone that they want to, breaking armor left and right and scoring a touchdown. But the Werewolves would stay true to the form that we saw in the mini cup for 9 whole games, and they would take advantage of their quickness. They would run away from impeding dangers of black orcs. They would bash strategically to create holes for the end zone, and that they would twice. They scored twice against a veteran here, a long-time NBP veteran of fantastic Dr. J. That was one of those games that very well could be a draw or very well could have been an Orc victory, but the Humans snatch victory from the jaws of defeat and win here in week 1. And that is going to round out all of the old world. So, out with the old and in with the new as we go on to the New World Conference. Remember, hydration is important. Don't forget to drink your water. Anyway, scratching my face here. I'm getting prepared. I'm getting prepared for the New World Conference, where we start in the former Deep Dark, the now Dusk Ridge, named by former Commissioner Cozy and Nuffle Challenge Series 8 champion. He would bring a new team this season, and we're going to start with him in Dusk Ridge, where the Guild of Barber Surgeons, an undead team, take on new pro team Cryptic Souls 2.0 of Caliban Life Force, aka Whack Daddy in the Discord. A man of many names and a man of many talents, taking on a former champion here, proving that he earned his spot in the mini cups as the Cryptic Souls take on the Underworld team, and they would score early in this one and look to be commanding the field over this Underworld team. But those sneaky, smelly, slithery, slimy goblins would creep their way into the backfield and make some cheeky plays to dislodge a ball and get down into the end zone and make it 1-1 very late in the game, using both the Skaven and the Goblins to do the work. The Troll did his job excellently as well, but this Necro team did a great job. They had some amazing, and still have some amazing werewolves that did a lot of work for them in this 1-1 draw. And starting off the season 1-1 is not bad at all. There's a lot of times in seasons where I would have much rather had that week 1 draw than the win that I had that destroyed my team for the rest of the season. You know, sometimes in that first game you push a little too hard and Nuffle pushes back just as hard and cripples your team for the rest of the next 7 games that you have. And sometimes exchanging a draw for that is much preferred. But here we are. in the second matchup of Duskridge. Another new pro here, one of our expansion teams. Again, we had 4 in the New World, and actually a replacement coach, so a total of 5. And then another replacement coach, so a total of 6. We had 6 new pros. So Zithrak and the Varenderfall Vipers, the Dark Elf team, taking on a name that we haven't heard around these parts in quite a while. The man, the myth, the legend. Season 1 veteran. Season 1 playoff appearance. The legendary Bortbot 18 returns to NBP-Pro action here in the Duskridge division. I find it fitting that the namer of the former Deep Dark division comes to the Duskridge to try to reclaim the division that was once his. No longer is he coaching the Goth Bondage party that is Dark Elves, though. He returned with a Nurgle team by the name of Germ Tech Labs. And this was 2 very well-built teams and 2 very well-skilled coaches duking it out here in Duskridge divisional play. And I have to say, it was a wonderful game to witness. Not only was it the return of Bortbot here in NBP Pro, it was the debut of Zithrak in the pros. This was a legendary game for us here, folks. A legendary game. And I think it is one that will be remembered for quite some time. Well, by me, of course, but maybe some of you others. Oh boy, my phone is going to die before I finish this. This is not going to be good. Hold on. Alrighty, well, it looks like we're going to have to speed through this. So, that was 0-1 as Germtech Labs managed to score and secure the victory in their return. And make a quick adjustment here. Okay, we're going to speed read these. Oh no, I don't want to speed read these. We go to Proletarian Division where Cook 9000 returns with NWO, the Chaos team, up against Badly Bit and Standard Bearer here in a 2-1 loss to the Lizard Man team by the new Pro. Then we go on down to Knockout Joe and JoJo Reference, a returning Pro team and a returning Pro coach up against Fake Detective Agency and DKM 96, the Dark Elves versus the Bretonians. And this would be a crazy matchup that saw a score by each team early, and then late in the game, a long bomb pass by the Bretonians would seal the deal after rolling a 6 on the pass and then an easy catch in the end zone for a 2-1. Now Saltworks, R Mutt, and new pro Dusty Knuckles in a 1-1 matchup against the Tampon Bay Succaneers. Go Dog Sick'em 66. That is Kimry versus Chaos Dwarf in a 1-1 game. Go Dog Sick'em is returning here to the pros from previous seasons. And then we got Joe Cole Jr., 1313, Thunderhead of the North, returning pro with a new team this season up against Tor Anlik Blackhawks. That's Shushnik returning pro and NBP veteran in a 1-3 match. That was Norse versus High Elf. Then finally, we have Coyote Mini Cup Pro spot earned there with Katuyas Lovers. What's the Norse guys that are jumpy? Kislev team taking on Thundercats Ho FC, coached by Juan C1103 in a 4-1 game. The Wood Elves ran all over the place in this one. It was a dicing by the Kislev, and the War Dancers took advantage. And then finally, Play Bear and the Cure, two veteran coaches, because the last one is yours truly. The Cure taking on Season 1 finalist, #Swole. The Dwarf team versus the Nurgle team. And this would be a knockdown dragout that would see a defensive score by the Nurgle team declare themselves the victory in a 1-0 matchup. So, the top 5 of the league is M-Rooted, Abu Memorial Foundation, Jonah 2005 UK, The Haunting of Men, I Am DeMarco, Calidor Red Sox, Solor 72, Leeds Werewolves, and then S130 South and Dust Sewer Rats for top 5. Although, yeah, for the most part. Actually, and then throw in Dragoon and a Reptile Dysfunction in there for your top 5. I will have those added to the Discord in the appropriate channels. League standings in general, Old World and New World in their channel. And I am racing my phone before it runs out of battery. So, we'll add the exception of, if you liked the video, thumbs up. If you hated it, thumbs down. Either way, the interaction helps the channel. Questions, comments, concerns, tips, tricks, current events, throw them in the comments below. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and thank you to all the fantastic and fantabulous coaches here at NBP that make all of this possible. Because without you, this league does not exist. Literally, I'm just the figurehead. I just make the schedules and tell people when to play. You guys are the ones actually playing the games and putting in all of the work to keep this fantastic community up and running. And I'm so happy that you are all here. And I am so happy to be here. So, before my phone dies, we're going to sign it out so we get a good outro for this video. I mean, well, that's the intro. That's the outro. That's the outro. Check the playlist for more videos for previous episodes. And, check out the broadcast notification for people's Twitch. Follow all those coaches that Twitch so you can watch all the programs. Check out Cabal Vision for those who don't Twitch. Again, thank you, everybody. Good night.